What's up guys, Joe Youngblood here. I'm a habitat specialist with Whitetail Habitat Solutions. I hope everyone is doing very well. I want to do a quick video today on just like winter habitat reminders for you guys. I know Jeff just posted, I think, his February chores video. I always enjoy those. I haven't watched it, so if there's any overlap, I apologize, but wanted to give you some of my ideas real quick because I've been thinking about them a lot, and as the whole purpose for this channel is I'm taking you along, my farm, the changes I'm making, so you can kind of follow along and see how those improvements go and what I'm noticing with time. So the first one I wanted to mention, especially as some of you guys are in some more southern states. I've already been through 3 states. I'm going to my 4th state here this week, and it's not even February yet. So that's a huge blessing. It's been crazy, meeting some of the best people and having a great time doing it. So, but with that being said, as you get more south, there's less of a winter, right? Things don't freeze as much. It depends, of course, how far south you're going, but a forestry mulcher or even simply brush cutting things, right? When the ground is frozen, you can definitely, get that heavy equipment back there a little easier. You can possibly go to areas that you wouldn't have been able to get to, when things are wet, or if this time passes, you might even be, not able to do that later in the year. So think about that, schedule those days. There are definitely more people that do this kind of thing as far as hiring a forestry mulcher goes than I thought. Lots of land clearing companies, things like that. So if you have some of that around, give them a call, see how booked out they are, get their pricing, and see if you can get something on the date that works with the weather and what you're trying to do, right? Those skid steers, right, they weigh 10,000 pounds around, and so if you have even a little bit of moisture, they might be really hesitant to do that, so bear that in mind. Another thing, frost seeding. I did run into a couple clients where, due to some of the hills, they definitely, using a drill won't be an option later in the year, which can work very well. So they are, resorting to frost seeding, which I did for a large portion of my property. So, in these months, January, February, things like that, when there are no snow, have that seed ready and get to work. Start spreading it simply with the Earthway bag spreader if you'd like. If you haven't done it before, I definitely recommend you, possibly do maybe kind of a crossing pattern, meaning, walk north-south, keep that seed in your bag, and then start walking east-west to get a nice even, spread if it's a bedding area or a larger area, and if it's a screen, kind of use maybe one of your apps like HuntWise to pinpoint exactly how much linear feet, and then multiply that by the width if you're doing a 12-foot screen, and how much would technically that be of an acre. And so that way you know exactly how much seed you should be putting down along this screen. It works very well, help clients do it all the time. Which kind of leads me to another point, ordering this seed, ordering herbicides if you're in an area where, maybe getting herbicides is a little tougher. So you want to have some in your back pocket and be ready for that, because a couple months here, again, even for you guys planting switchgrass, that simazine, you definitely don't want to run into an area or a situation where that's sold out and you put seed down, and that would be kind of a bummer, especially when the switchgrass is so weed intolerant and you really need to do the sprayings just like Jeff's process shows us. What else? Inventory of bucks. It's a great time if you haven't removed your cameras, or you want to maybe put those cameras along the best food sources that you have for this late season, any of your rye plantings and wheat, things like that. Starts to get to that point where even myself, I start to see these really big does, and I'm second guessing myself depending on the picture quality if those are bucks and their antlers have fallen. I've already seen at least 2 with half the rat gone, but I'm looking forward to getting out there. We just got like 5-6 inches more of snow over at my farm, so gonna give it a little time maybe to kind of let that snow die back a little bit so I can see a little better, especially for anything that's already fallen. But as of a few days ago, I even still had some pretty decent bucks that were holding both antlers. So that's really fun and something you can do before you pull all your cameras, take the batteries out, do a quick cleaning and things of that nature. Which goes kind of hand in hand with scouting and shed hunting, right? Being out there, being able to see these deer and where they're moving, in the snow is a ton of fun regardless. You can see where they're moving to find sheds, you can see where they're moving just to simply find, you know, maybe edges that you didn't think the deer were taking. Yes, they can certainly change their patterns for the different times of the year. So it is not an end all be all when it comes to scouting now and where you put your stands over in October. But it is definitely something where you might pick out areas where you didn't think they were moving through. I know this past year, I definitely had an edge, and I've told some clients this, that, you know, I simply moved a stand over from one edge to the next, kind of in a corner, because the deer very much so came out on the other side more than I originally thought. And it worked great, and I passed quite a few deer in that area, but had good showings within archery range, and I had a lot of fun with that. And some of that was due to, you know, where I found those deer were utilizing it in the wintertime. And lastly, I would say, I guess, equipment, battery checks. You know, once you pull those cameras, you're done with your shed hunting. It's really good. You know, I think a lot of people lose equipment just to, you know, those batteries going bad and leaking acid and things like that in those compartments. Even if you're only pulling them for a couple months, guys, give them a break, wipe them down real quick. You know, you can start ordering your batteries along with your seed herbicide, things like that, so that when you put them out, whether it's for spring turkey or maybe you're waiting till, you know, July, August to get your cameras out and start finding bucks again, it's nice to do that and take care of your equipment. We spend a lot of money if you're, you know, following, making your own plan, or maybe you're a client that has had us out there and using one of our plans. Regardless, you spend a lot of time and money doing this. You don't want to let something go by the wayside and then realize thousands of dollars later you're going to have to buy a whole new set and so on. So it's been a couple weeks since I posted. I hope this gives you at least one or two ideas that maybe you weren't thinking about, or at least maybe kicks you in the butt a little bit, get you out the door, getting this stuff done. I even did some, you know, chainsaw work, which is really another topic, but I feel like I've covered that pretty well over my last 3 videos. But even at the end of my hunting season, I was starting that because I knew when these habitat visits started, I would not get the time that I wanted to go and run around my property and, you know, get that work done. So I definitely have some more to do. I'm definitely also going to have a forestry mulcher out or something similar. And I'm going to bring you guys, you know, where am I utilizing that? Why am I utilizing that? I've previously, you know, years ago had, you know, some access done and a couple spots for a ground blind, but I think this will be like another step. How am I enhancing it and having a forestry mulcher back in a few years? And I'll bring that all to you guys as well. So that'll be something, you know, later in the winter when I can find some free time to bring that to you. And then we'll pretty much be flowing right into planting season, the different stuff, definitely doing some new things with new versions of pockets, if you will, new plantings, and how I'm going to go about that. So I'm super excited to not only bring it to you, but get it going so we can monitor the growth and see how the deer react. So again, the whole point of this channel, if you enjoy that kind of thing, please think about subscribing. And I will see you guys after my next trip. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.